AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah.
AllBall suckers. Woo. Here's a little ashy. Here's a little lotion or something.
I can hear it. Hold on. You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one. We live.
Big Flea. Never the little one. The biggest Charlem still here.
This should be interesting. Hit that like button, man. I know it said we start in a half hour from now, but take advantage of these notifications. What y'all talking about, man? Oh boy, how you feeling?
I'm all right, I guess. You know, I'm cool.
Okay. Flea, how you doing, man?
Wonderful. Happy Friday to everybody. Daniel Berry, what up? Nostalgic Nick. What's good?
I hate a little damper. Knicks in the finals.
How you
would think
feeling?
these-
I guess we need to ask you that, right? Can't be rude. How you feeling?
I'm decent. Till I heard some news.
What you heard?
Same old, same old. Mitchie needs stitches.
Knicks rehab.
Knicks rehab, y'all. The youngest in charge. What up? Darlene B.
It's music to Flea's ears. Mitchell Robinson's hurt again. Injured his pinky. According to Fred Katz, Mitchell Robinson did not sustain his broken pinky in a game or in practice, Mike Brown said. That would be the head coach. After a follow-up question to Brown about how Robinson actually got hurt, Knicks media relations stepped in to say, we're not going to get into specifics. These Knicks, man. Love them or hate them. You want Dolan to talk? You want this guy to talk? Leon Rose to talk? They're not talking. And if Mike Brown thinks he's going to talk, La Rosa Nostra.
Shit,
I don't know
what?
nothing.
You know what happens when you get caught talking about a mall?
Some with the fishies.
Exactly.
Also reported Tim Bontemps from ESPN. He said that the belief is both Mitchell Robinson and Landry Shamet will be back. The Knicks are ready to run it back this summer. They will be signed. They will be unrestricted free agents, Landry Shamet and Mitchell Robinson. According to this article, both Robinson and guard Landry Shamet, the two top unrestricted free agents from this year's roster. Belief is that coming off New York's dominant run to the NBA playoffs, both will be back, and both will likely be on 2-year deals, as the Knicks are likely to go well into the second April next season and the following anyway, before needing to duck back out. I mean, if that stock goes public, they're gonna be in everybody's pension plan. The hell you worried about money for? Big Game James, he ain't playing. AllBall, which Robinson do for some money. He's injured. He apparently had surgery on his pinky, doing we don't know what, popping wheelies in a truck. And now, here we are. Game 1, will he play? He's pushing to play, according to many reports. People are celebrating this. But, I mean, are you a little concerned about this? I mean, Mitchell Robinson is known to be injured. He's injury prone his whole career. And now we get to the championship the whole year after we, don't play back-to-backs. And we had him revved up for the finals. And here we are. He still shows up with a bandage around his finger. Your thoughts, man?
I mean, I'm not concerned at all. I said it the other day. I don't even know why this news came out. I guess, you got to put it out because it's news, right? But I don't think this affects us at all because, big shout out Brian Windhorst. He said it. If there's a player you would want to get injured as far as Pinky, their shooting hand, it would be Mitchell Robinson, right? Because we don't depend on him for scoring. Right now, it may affect him as far as, with the lob, being a lob threat. But, we need Mitch to defend and to rebound. Mitch is very important when it comes to getting those offensive rebounds where we get second, third, and fourth chances, at the basket. So for me, I'm not concerned at all. Like I said, put some tussing on that thing, tape it up, and get on the court. I have no doubt that he's going to be on the court game one at all. Like I said, we don't depend on Mitch to score the basketball. The only thing that may be a little concerning is Hacker Mitch. Now knowing that his shooting hand with that pinky, that he for sure probably, is going to even shoot even worse, from the free throw line. But I'm not worried at all. I think right now we're clicking on all cylinders. Everyone's fully healthy. Like I said, if this was a shoulder injury or if this was, ankle or one of those, strains or groin, something like that, then, yeah, I would be very concerned. But listen, guys play with broken pinkies and, fingers and everything, even on their shooting hand. So put a split in that thing, tape it up, get on the court, and be the defensive guru that we know you are and help us win this championship. But I have no doubt that he's going to definitely be on the floor game one. This is the moments that these guys pray for when they kids to play in the NBA Finals. And he wants his money. So he's definitely going to play. Like I said, the only thing I'm a little concerned about is how it will affect him going to the rim as far as being that lob threat, right? Can he be able to catch the ball and dunk it with that pinky, I guess, being injured? So besides that, rebound, chase around, defend 1 through 5, fight through those pick and rolls, and help us win the championship. That's all I'm worried about from him. I don't care if he don't score in no games. He changes the game defensively and rebounding. Those are his two strengths. It's not scoring. So as long as he can do that, I'm fine with Big Mitch. Not concerned, Fabian. Not one bit.
Lee, what are you thinking? You've been in for almost 2 years now. Like, enough of Mitchell Robinson and his shenanigans. We end up in the finals, and we kind of placate to his injury proneness, load management for the man. Here we are. He still shows up with the bandage around his pinky. What are your thoughts on this?
Like I said, I agree with OG. We got to wrap that pinky up and get out there and give it your best shot, right? We need you out there. You're a vital piece to what we do, especially when we're going to be going up against one of these two teams that is presents a challenge in terms of size, right? So we have to be able to counter that. My biggest concern right now is with Mitch's head. Pause. Like, is his mindset, is his mental right? Mitch just came out maybe a week or so ago and talked about deleting social medias and not being right in his mental space and things like that, right? And so now this comes out where he breaks his pinky and he's not doing it during practice. It didn't happen during a game. So, what's going on? I just feel like, for me, there's a concern about, is he in the right mental space right now? How is he feeling? What's going on? There's got to be something else going on right now that obviously we don't know about. We have to be, for me, I go back and forth with Fabian about, mental health, but I'm very sensitive and gentle with it. So if there is a situation going on, then, I'm saying, that there may need to be some attention put to it. But at the end of the day, this is the finals. This is like once in a lifetime opportunity. He got to come out there and play because we need him in a very big way. We need him to be able to be that lob threat, to be able to deter guys from coming to the rim. The energy that he brings, the hustle that he brings, getting on the floor, just everything that he does out there is going to be necessary in this final stage to trying to get a championship. But my biggest concern is I feel like something's going on with him, and hopefully he shakes that.
I don't know what this to go back and forth about mental health. Mitchell Robinson is
Whatever, man.
okay. I think that's the number one thing for anybody. I think we come up with way too many reasons as to why somebody, just excuses. Like I tell you, I get into Kevin Love and all that. Listen, man, back in the day, they would call you soft if you were mentally
That's
tough.
what I
That's
was
just what it
referring. That's
was.
what I was referring to.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Like Mitchell
Okay.
Robinson, he's gonna have to go into the game one. He ain't the first person to hurt his finger and go into, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. They got so much medication and numbing medications and just there's too much. And I get it, but he's not the first person in sports to be hurt and play. It's something like I look at Isaiah Thomas we'll get into him in a second. They lost, but he scored 19 straight points. Obviously, the adrenaline rush. But someone like him, I think, is different because of those spot minutes he does play. I don't know, without the adrenaline, then you got to go into the game. I don't think it's just easy to just get into the game and we don't have to worry about him shooting. Like, he still has to grab the rebound. He was pulling on his hand when he's trying to grab a rebound between Harden and somebody else. I don't know if that affected him or not. And that's not just mental health. It's like, who the hell could play through that? That's not normal. I heard my pinky at work and be like, I got a paper cut. My mental health is all over the place. Oh my God. Can I get this? I can't work. Are you crazy? So I could be slightly concerned with this. I don't think we got to see him play. That's why it's so exciting that we're in the final. I mean, this is a big stage. This is news because when was the last time the Knicks were in this thing? And like the closer we get to it, I'm like, yo, damn. We haven't been to the finals since '99. We have not been in the finals during the social media world, the internet era, none of this. And we've been the craziest fan base throughout social media and the internet. So something like this, I don't know if it would have been news 6 months ago like this, like how we're talking about it. With us, it would have been, depending on the time with Mitchell Robinson, I think, because he's so injury prone that it's like another one. If it was the summertime, we wouldn't be concerned. If it was January, we wouldn't be concerned. But right before the NBA Finals, that's not the guy I want to hear injury about. When there's his injury that we owe, the only injury we've ever heard about from Mitchell Robinson is his ankle and the leg injuries, and that's what So I think he knows how to play through that. We've seen him get hurt sometimes. He'll just try to jump, walk it off. But a pinky, I think those little knick-knack injuries like that, man, I don't think it's just Tylenol. I think I want to see how he plays with it. And somebody put in the comments, he's shooting 29. He shoots 29% from the free throw line. Yo, 29% is crazy.
My man said, he texted me, he said, I mean, it ain't like it's gonna lower his shooting percentage. He gonna be fine. I said, damn.
Right, it might make it better, like how to roll off it. I don't know, but I that is something that all right, we'll see how he is when he's playing because now it can bring a little more anxiety to the picture. Like you're gonna be like, damn, like what do we do now? It's great, man. When the hell do we have to worry about a Knicks injury in June? Never, damn near never our lifetime. Something to be worried about in June for the Knicks. Amazing. That's kind of good news on the low. Maybe
it's not even nothing to worry about. It's just like I said, we don't depend on him for scoring, so it shouldn't even be news. I mean, I guess it's news because it's basketball, but I don't think it should be big news. Just because it's Mitch, it may get overhyped, right? Because not being able to play back-to-backs and limited minutes, and this is the first time in a while where he's been fully healthy. So just to hear it be him at this time. And knowing that it may not be basketball related, right? But as far as being worried about how he's going to play, that has nothing to do with him being able to move his feet, be aggressive, rebound the basketball. And we're going to need him. I agree with what y'all said. Whether we play Spurs or OKC, those big bodies, Chet, Hartenstein, right? You have Wembanyama on the other end, right? We need him as far as that. But I don't think this is a problem at all. At all. He should still be able to rebound. He should still be able to defend and protect the paint and protect the basket. So as long as he's able to do that, I ain't worried about it.
I ain't worried about nothing.
Just be
I ain't
ready,
worried
man.
about nothing.
Just be ready to rock and roll. Just be ready. If you're gonna put yourself out there, be ready.
Stay ready, ain't never gotta get ready. Here we are on the precipice. For many fans, their first NBA Finals. You're a New York fan, New York Knicks fan. For us, it'll be our third that we got to witness the Knicks in the finals in June. Second time we had a realistic chance, right? The first time 94, now 32 years later. Probably the biggest difference is Allen Houston, Sprewell, 99. We didn't give him much of a chance.
I watched game. I just watched game 3 today.
Which one was that? No, Sprewell missed the game winner in game 5, right?
Yeah, I watched game 3. That's the only game we won. That's the game Allen Houston went off for like 35 or 34, something like that.
If only we had him in 94. Well, 94 had Stella. Should be a statue of the guy, Patrick Ewing, in there, who gave us a chance, broke the record for blocks in the series.
99 team better than 94.
Okay. I don't know. Certainly didn't have a better outcome.
I'm sorry?
Certainly didn't have a better outcome.
I mean, neither outcome was the greatest. But I think collectively, I'm just asking.
I don't know. I don't know. They just changed the rules then with Derek Harper and all that, just real quick. And you could argue that all around better, maybe. 94 just had a better chance to win for their era. Does that say more about? Does that say more about the era though? About the year? Like that was you saying the team was better in 99 means they were worse in 94.
The Knicks team is the collection of talent around the centerpiece, and Pat was still the centerpiece, but we was almost starting to get away from that because we went and got some good pieces. I'm just saying that 99 team was really good. I thought.
You done with the 92 AllBall?
I don't care about none of that right now. I get what y'all saying. That's a great conversation one day, though. You compare 94 to 99 and had that discussion, but
I mean, it's 26 right now.
Yeah.
That's where we at.
Some might argue that we have a better chance this year than both of those years. And maybe it's due to the young man, big body, Jalen Brunson, who's often compared to other small guards in the history of the NBA. And El Capitan, the logo of small guards, the winner. Ain't no chicken dinner over here. Isaiah Thomas came out the woodworks. He said, I got something to say.
There's only one outlier that she didn't mention, and that was me. So that's the outlier.
With an exclamation point.
Yes, back to back. And I would say this about Brunson in today's game. He is an outlier. He's been overlooked. Not only has he been overlooked, but in a lot of ways, he's been disrespected only because of his size. It has nothing to do with his playing ability. And what we know about the game of basketball, it's a game that if you know how to play it, whether you big or small, you can neutralize the bigger guys with your speed, with your intelligence, with your tempo, with your IQ. That's the beauty of the game. There's only one.
You could neutralize. Damn, that light is crazy, Flea.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so bright.
Yeah, so I can't even see you. All right, there you go.
It's better. Ooh, I'm on a spot.
Look at y'all. Look at y'all with y'all little cute lights. Look at y'all.
Don't be jelly.
Yeah, I ain't jelly.
That light doing some weird stuff right now.
Yeah,
it's too bright.
Light's too bright. Not for these guys.
You never got some bright for me, baby. I'm still
Flea. Oh, Flea always hates the Jordan numbers, so we have to bring in Mamba numbers. Kobe, Steph, Brunson. Jalen Brunson joins Kobe Bryant in 2001 and Steph Curry 2017 as the only players to put up 26 points per game and 6 assists, more than 26 points per game and more than 6 assists per game during an 11-game winning streak in a single postseason run. Huh?
Some legendary company right there.
They definitely could have got a better picture of Brunson though. That was purposely done. Like,
he's smiling, man. He's happy to be here. Well, you heard Zeke again. The creme de la creme. All the shots are being thrown, obviously, from the Becky Hammond thing. But also just, everyone's gonna be talking about the Knicks now. You ain't got no choice. You a basketball fan or ball. I mean, I think we talked about this ad nauseum, but for Zeke to come out, he's the guy that is often the only guy you could bring up that led a team at that size to win. And of course, Steph Curry, people lump him in there. Some people say he's really 6'1", 6'2" with his kicks off. But those are the two guys that they compare him to. You see those numbers there in his 11-game winning streak for Brunson. And what are your thoughts on what Zeke said about the little man?
I mean, to be honest, when you talk about, one of the greatest to ever do it, Zeke is one of those guys, right? Let me just say that first and foremost, he gets lost in that conversation a lot. And it's unfair to him, right? When we talk about 10 to 15 of the greatest basketball players to ever play this game, he should be in that conversation, right? For sure, top 5 point guards ever. Whether you have him 1, 2, 3, 4, however, whatever's your preference. But it's great to hear him speak on it because he knows it firsthand. He's the poster child of that, right? When you talk about some of the smallest guards to lead their team to multiple championships, not only one, right? And clearly be the best player on that team, Isaiah Thomas. And I love when he talks because he talks basketball, right? Even when he talks about Jordan and just when he breaks down the game, you have to listen to him because he knows the game. And what he said about Brunson as far as like the IQ, that part of basketball is lost today. And like he said, it's like the David and Goliath with the slingshot. If you're smart enough, if you're good enough, you can bring those big guys' paws down to your size. And that's what he's talking about with Jalen Brunson. No matter what y'all say about the young man, every play y'all say that's better than him, when he goes up against them, he beats them. I said it for a couple lives. He's doing this in the land of giants. So to watch Isaiah Thomas, basically defend him is great, right? Because he's basically telling Becky Hammond, Miss, I know what I'm seeing. I was an outlier, and this young man is one of those. And he's doing something that you just have to respect. But I love that he brought in basketball IQ, because when you're a smart basketball player and you know the game and know how to play the game, it doesn't matter, Pauls, what size you are, right? So if there's anyone that I want to hear talk about, this topic between Becky Hammond, I don't want to say it's Becky Hammond versus Jalen Brunson, but just what she said, is nobody better that can discuss this than Isaiah Thomas. I love what he said because he's also defending the little guys. Because I told you, I think the NBA is trying to get rid of them. And that's why I love what Isaiah Thomas said. Put more eyes on Jalen Brunson, right? Because we can't sit here and say a little guy can't lead their team to a championship, because now what we're going to do as NBA GMs, front offices, fans, whatever, are you going to look at a guy that's 6'1", 6'2", and you're not going to draft him, or you're not going to put him as the leader of your team because he's small? But what if he could do everything else, a la Jalen Brunson, right? So I love what Isaiah Thomas said.
Fleet, what are your thoughts? I mean, do it again, Mr. Do it again. He's about to perform at Yankee Stadium. I see a lot of reaction videos from young guys. I don't know if they're getting paid. You know how the social media world does, but to see them react to Jay-Z songs is ill.
Y'all going for
that? I was supposed to, but I'm not it was a $2,000. I'm not paying 2 G's for that. I'll pay 2 G's for that for them Knicks chickens before I go to a Jay-Z.
I'm not paying 200 for the Jay-Z concert. I don't care what it is. Listen, bro. I know the songs. I know the set. I've seen it plenty of times. I'm not paying for nothing. No, I'm not doing that. I'm the
old man jigger.
I ain't doing that though.
You would do it, Flea?
Me, yeah.
Well, I mean, what your thoughts? You know, you're saying Mr. Do It Again. Speaking to Jay-Z, and you want to see him get it done at the NBA Finals before. A lot of people are saying that with the Becky Hammond quote. Let's go. Let him get the championship first before you can say this is null and void now. But Zeke coming out saying that, hold on. I understand what y'all saying, but the reason why he gets disrespected is because he's little. How about we talk about his game? You know, we're here now. So what are your thoughts on that?
For sure. I think let's not get lost with what Zeke led with. He led with, I did it back to back, right? So that really solidifies just what I'm saying from the jump. I could stop talking right there because that's what he led with. He led with, yeah, I did it back to back. So he's stamping the fact that he is the most qualified guy to talk from a position of being a smaller guard, leading a team to a championship. I not only did it once, I turned around and did it again. Hence my term, hey, do it again, right? So he actually did it. So I love that he's talking from that perspective. My stance has always been it's always more difficult for guards to do that from that size, right? Not impossible. I've never said it's impossible. I just always understood that it's a challenging feat to do it from that position and be the top dog. So Brunson is proving me wrong right now, and I'm glad to be wrong at the end of the day. I'm a Knicks fan at the end of the day. I'm glad to be wrong, right? I just want us to finish. Let's finish before we start anointing everybody. But Isaiah Thomas is flat out right. When you watch Jalen Brunson's game, he's not fast. He's not athletic. He's not going to run you over, but he's extremely smart. He knows angles. His footwork is impeccable, right? I mean, the footwork of a guy like, we love Dream's footwork. We love Kobe Bryant's footwork. Like, we love Mike's footwork. Brunson's footwork is very reminiscent of that. So it's a.
I just remember having this argument last year, and you flaming me for this.
Flea, did you, out of all people, compare Brunson to Mikael Jordan?
The footwork for sure.
Yo, this guy's crazy. This guy's crazy. This guy's crazy. No, because he specifically, when I said, yo, what's the difference between Ant-Man and Brunson? I said footwork. He said, what? See, he's elite. I don't even know who's in his class. Maybe he's like
in his class?
Bro, listen, I'm not gonna go.
He has elite footwork.
Let me just let you talk.
I can't talk because guess what? You go ahead.
No,
I'm giving the little nigga some love now, and you niggas can't let me finish giving the little nigga some love.
I said, didn't Isaiah just say he gets disrespected? You got
a bunch of niggas in the comments all over the place talking. Slow down. They got a bunch of niggas in the comments telling me I can't be a Knicks fan because I'm criticizing Brunson. Go to hell. Love Brunson.
I'm just happy that you finally admitted that the names that you listed of footwork, like
footwork is nasty.
But what else? Because I mean, I know it's not just you. You're not alone. Becky Hammond's there too. There's a bunch of people. Dime, all these people. You got to win it.
I'm coming from a different angle because, like you said, this is the third time we've seen the Knicks in the championship round, right? With a chance
in our lifetime.
In our lifetime to win the NBA Finals, we were devoid of it for 27 years. So I don't minimize the fact that Brunson is a key factor. I just know the heartache and the pain that we've had. I'm ready to finish the deal, and it's bigger than Brunson. It's about this team. The composition of this team right now and how we look at this team is crazy. Quick story, I'll give it back to y'all. I had a meeting today, president of my company that I work for. He comes and he's talking to us and he's comparing the team that I'm on to the team like the Knicks. He's so enthralled and amazed at how the Knicks are playing in sync. And he don't know a damn thing about basketball. Not a damn thing. But he's sitting there watching the Knicks and he's like, yo, they play together. Everybody gets, they work together. They all of these things that he's talking about, I can hear that he's not really like a basketball guy, but he's just watching from just the regular casual fan thing. And he's like, damn, this Knicks team is really good. Like, it's good to root for them. So I'm not saying we can't get lost in elevating our guy. He's our star for sure. But I'm ready to like, yo, it's about the team. Let's finish the deal because this is historic right here.
I don't know if it's just him being a little man while he's getting disrespected. When they bring up Allen Iverson, I never heard the whole small guy can't lead the team to a championship team until Brunson. Never heard it. All I ever heard was he dragged his team to the finals. That was a bum team. Same thing with LeBron. You heard it again with LeBron. LeBron and the AI are the only ones that get brought up with saying we brought these bum teams to the finals. I never heard little man. As a matter of fact, because he was a little man, it was amplified. Like, yo, and he did it at that size. Anybody you ever spoke to that met Allen Iverson, they say, yo, he was actually not even 6 feet. There's no way he's 6 feet tall. Steve Nash, people start bringing his name up because of the fact that he's 6'2", 6'3", and people were trying to say, oh, you couldn't win with him either because he was small. And it's like, I never heard anybody say the Phoenix Suns lost because of Steve Nash. Never heard it. Ever in my life. And Veer left a little bit, but it's still on par. Someone who's a Knicks hater, known as a Knicks hater, but he actually called the Knicks going to the championship before the season started. Charles Barkley. How often do we hear him referred to as the greatest power forward in that conversation, especially when Draymond decides to open up his mouth? And yet, this guy's a 6'4" power forward. This guy's a 6'4" power forward, undersized. That's not normal. That what he did. He's top 5 all-time minimum. So for him to be in this conversation, you're gonna tell me that he was a number one. He wasn't a number one guy because he was an undersized power forward. Never heard it before in my life. Am I a little biased? Maybe. He's my first favorite basketball player of all time. My point is, these guys defy that whole the big man thing. Dom always tells me I have a bias towards the big man. I'm always asking, how come Moses Malone ain't in nobody's conversation? So I'm wondering, where's this hate coming from with Brunson? It's because he's a second rounder. He's a ball hog. Iverson was a ball hog. Barkley was a bully ball dude. He wasn't like this extra skilled guy. Even whether we win or we lose, it doesn't negate the fact that you could win with Brunson. That's my problem with this whole thing. This wasn't the first time we were in championship contention. We were in championship contention 2 years ago. I'll swear by that. We were a bad matchup for most teams out there. The only team I said was a matchup problem for us was the Western Conference finalists, the Dallas Mavericks. As soon as they got Gafford, I said, that's a problem for us. They already spanked us during the regular season and they got under 7-footer. But that's a matchup problem. That's because Brunson is small. Brunson is nice. So hopefully we just get past that regardless. Like, to me, whether you're waiting for us to lose or whatever the case may be, everybody and their mama who's talking about this is excited. If you're a Knicks fan, you're excited because you are not only in the finals, you really got a chance to win. And he's leading us. So I just don't understand it anymore. That should be put to rest. And I understand you want to see it happen first, Flea, and there's a lot of people that feel like you, but I think he's done something that is going to be talked about for the rest of our lives as a Knicks fan. This is the Brunson era, his legacy is stamped, and he defied all those great mountains and giants in front of him. So I just don't understand going back in history and trying to like prove a point that it's like the point still stands. None of us would take bigger, talented. You're not going to say, I'm taking Brunson over the bigger, talented dudes if they're available in the draft. That doesn't mean that. The rule still applies. You don't draft a little man over a bigger dude. That's never going to go away. But when the ball goes in the air and they roll it out on the floor, he's been proven to be one of the best Knicks ever and might lead us to a damn championship for once. I love it. I love it. Also, Just to make my point a little further. Channing Frye has something to say about Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland, but he also mentioned one thing.
Wait. So you say they have to move on from Donovan Mitchell or Evan Mobley?
Yeah, I feel like that pairing does not work. I feel like it doesn't work. You could say it does, but it does not.
It can't. Let me say this though, Shannon, real quick, and then you can go. It can work. I think those two just don't want to make it work. It's too much outside noise that I see for as Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley of who should have the ball more, who should do this, who should do that. Anytime you have a dynamic roller, a versatile big like Evan Mobley, there's no way in hell that it shouldn't work. Like, it took a while for us to see that fucking Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns was a match made in heaven. Like, they found a way to make it work. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying those two guys don't want to fucking make it work.
I just think, okay, you know the difference between Cat and Brunson is a true number one. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is a true number one. Take you to the NBA Finals.
So you
do I think he's a great player?
So what number do you think Mobley is? Is he?
Doesn't matter.
Wow.
And I haven't heard people say that. I've heard people be hesitant about it. So when a former NBA player says it, just another person in general saying it, to me, the way to break it down, that was my issue with getting Donovan Mitchell in the first place. We already got a guy who could score with the ball in his hands. But the fact that he's considering him a true number one is like, yeah, that's what he is. He gets the ball in crunch time. When the pressure's on for the most, when we get the most pressure on us, you want to give him the ball because he gives you the best opportunity to create the best shot on his own, one-on-one. Grenade, ball, whatever the case may be. And I love the fact that Channing Frye said that, AllBall.
I mean, I don't know why people are afraid to say that. You know, it's a lot of number ones in the league. Why is everybody so hesitant to say it about Jalen Brunson? Right? Flea or nobody's not wrong for saying, you know, I'm hesitant to say you can win us a championship. Nobody's wrong when you say that. Where Becky Hammond was wrong at was when she said he's not a dude and he's not a 1A. That's the conversation that everybody is dodging. He's been the dude and the 1A since he stepped on the floor in New York. That's just my opinion. Right? So that's where waters get murky for me. Why is nobody addressing that? Why is nobody saying, hey, Becky Hammond, we need you to respond to that? The jury is still out winning the championship. Because if he doesn't win, okay, your argument is right. Fine. But is he a 1A? Is he a dude? And I love that Channing Frye didn't hesitate. Because that's all we've been saying about Jalen Brunson. The last 3 years, he's been one of the best players in the NBA. One of the years, he was an MVP candidate, top 5, top 6. I've argued he's been top 3, top 5 best players in the league in the last 2-3 seasons. Now, that's up for debate. But you can't tell me what he's done on this team the last 2 seasons. He hasn't been top 10 best player in the NBA. Like, the evidence is there. Back-to-back conference finals, now in the finals, back-to-back 50-win seasons, all NBA second team. That means you're top 10. So I don't understand why people are so hesitant to just be honest when you're seeing what you're seeing, right? So I'm ecstatic that, you know, a lot of the NBA world, especially the players, are starting to get it. It's starting to see, this kid is good, right? As Flea say, it's a little nigga good, right? Like, stop hesitating. Stop allowing your eyes to attempt to deceive you, because we didn't do it, as Fabian said, with no one else. We didn't hesitate with Tony Parker or Allen Iverson or Stephen Curry. Once we seen them in their prime and said, yo, what, this is Brunson's 6th, 7th year in the league? That's why Flea be on me when it's like, yo, AllBall, give these guys some time. So as we see year 5, 6, 7, that's when you're going to know, okay, these guys is the real deal, right? You're seeing now in his prime, young man is the real deal. So I just don't understand why a lot of people are just afraid to be honest. But it's because it's the Knicks. And if you're honest, you have to almost get laughed at and trolled on because of what we've been saying about the Knicks forever. So now it's like, oh, now, like, My thing is, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna let Flea cook. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. In the playoffs, you have to break down the game now. Conference finals, NBA finals, bums don't get there. They rarely do.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's
like
you can agree on that.
Right? Ain't no scrub leading their team to no damn NBA finals. Right? So I'm just glad that we now have another voice, another player that played the game that you have to listen to and respect, whether you like him or not, because he played the game at a high level. He was in the league. For him to say that, I heard Kevin Garnett. We starting to get guys. That's what you need to push that agenda because they do it for everyone else. So I'm just proud that we have a guy now that when you talk about some of the best players in the NBA, one of those guys now are in the blue and orange. I love it.
Who number one, Flea? Has he done it again? For you?
I was sitting here thinking, right? And I'm like, and then I saw you tee up a question, and I'm gonna tee it up for you so you could get in that bag and we can answer Jamrock. But I think the biggest thing about Jalen Brunson, right? Because we could talk about the scoring, right? That's what makes him so phenomenal is that he could score so well at such a small size against guys that are typically it's a bigger person's league, right? It's a big people run the show, 6'5", 6'6". That size, you usually are able to score the basketball a little easier. But with Jalen Brunson, his scoring ability just makes him phenomenal. But the biggest thing for me is that he's been able to adjust, right? We talked about the IQ. We talk about what is it going to take for us to get to the next level. And a lot of those 1A guys have the IQ and have that understanding of the game that, hey, knowing when to push the gas, knowing when to take your foot off the gas, right? Now we start running things through Cat. You don't think Brunson had to adjust a little bit off of that and understand how to continue to be effective with not having the ball in his hand 95% of the time? Like, that's taking your game. That's the next level that we were talking about, at least that I was talking about. Like, what's the next level for him? And the next level is, hey, let's get away from pounding the rock. Let's get you in some action where you're actually getting the other guys open. So now you're actually making other guys better because you're setting good screens, because you're moving without the basketball. You're making sure defenses is paying attention to you because they want to know where you at. But now OG is open for a back cut, or Mikal Bridges is open for a corner three. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that is what I could say now. I could put it to attach to Jalen Brunson as, yo, that's the next level. That's how you really leading us. Forget the scoring ability. You could go get 35,000 on anybody. Can't anybody guard you? But how is that affecting winning? It'll take us somewhere, but what's going to put us to the championship? Making the other guys better. And so that I can agree with that. That puts him at a 1A level for me.
I mean, I guess what you're alluding to is Jamrock asking Fabian, is Jalen Brunson playing different now than he was 2 years ago? Of course he is. Sure. But I think in that season, I also see Manuel. He said, guys, but 2 years back, he wasn't the dude or 1A guy. That's a fact. That's not a fact. Who was getting you the buckets back then? He's the guy that you need, that they all look to. Who they setting screens for? You giving the ball to Randall? Crunch time? What were you doing back then? What you talking about? Like Hartenstein, he was engineering a lot of that offense. Randall was engineering a lot of that offense, and Brunson was as well. But we were very balanced. He was a 1A guy. What he did in the playoffs was crazy. That's when he really won everybody over. And it was like, yo, this is nuts. And that's when the Jordan numbers started. So is he playing differently? Hell yeah, he's playing differently. But again, it goes back to our argument from game 2 against the Pistons in 2025. I said, bro, if these guys ain't gonna step up, I want my star player. I want Kobe, all these guys. All right, you don't want to step up? I got this. I'm gonna take over. What y'all doing? I sacrifice 100. What y'all doing? Not sacrificing more. You're gonna sacrifice your play? And then this year, after game 3, they said Anthony Towns was talking to Mike Brown. We saw his pops walk on him on the sideline. Hell yeah, he's playing different. Get off the ball. And we got a guy, Cat, who replaced Randall and Iheart to start to get a lot of this offense started, and he had to play differently now. You got to go off ball way more. Now it's one-on-one in a different kind of way because you're going to get the ball back, which we've seen against the Cavaliers, especially, and some against Philly. But just to him to be able to be patient, let the game come to him a little bit more. Like, it wasn't that I liked him going one-on-one against Detroit or any one of these teams. You can't force it. Anytime you're forcing it, it's like, nah, what are you doing? But now he doesn't have to. That's the part that, like, we can't forget.
That's the best part. You don't have to. You don't have to be the guy with the basketball in your hands 95% of the time. If that's not producing winning, if that's not going to be at the end result taking us to the top, then you got to change some things up. You're still going to be the guy. He's still the focal point in the other team's scout report. He's still at the top of the list. So I don't. That takes him to another level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just think Anthony Towns stepping up the way that he has, and Mike Brown being the coach now compared to Tibbs, when even the owner came out and said Tibbs was stubborn. Wanted this guy to come in there and be able to have more of a collaborative effort, which, if we think about, that is what worked with Golden State and Steve Kerr. It was a common thing around the league for to see players grab the clipboard and draw up their own plays in the huddle. Mike Brown came from that system, so for him to be the one to open things up for Anthony Towns and put the pressure on him and be like, you have the most responsibility in this offense. I don't think I've even put enough emphasis on that where Anthony Towns went from confused to being more confident and vocal and saying, yo, man, we can't, that's not going to work. We made an adjustment way too late against the Indiana Pacers in the conference finals last year. Let's make an adjustment down 2-1 in the first round. This is what we got to do, because we got way more to go. I don't want to lose in the first round. We're not going down like this. Giannis rumors probably affected Anthony Towns. He knew they were going to be right around the corner if we lost in the damn first round to the Atlanta Hawks. Them Giannis rumors would have been rampant, and he didn't want to not just face that music. That's the way to do it. Now, hold on. Let me put my foot down real quick. And he did it his way. That's tough to me. That's tough to me. Just do it. Be persistent and don't look back. Don't be worried about what people are saying about you in that. Yo, J-Rock, thank you for your $2. I don't know how to look up those stats. Like, the stat muse brings it up. If you can show me how to do it, please do, because I don't know how to do that stuff. Like, every time I do it, comes up mad weird. So the last 45 games with Brunson and SGA.
I could do it, right?
Please do so.
Yeah, I got you.
Michael Dennis has been a member for 4 months. Thank you. At least 4 months. YouTube messages us up, Michael Dennis. Y'all are right. Everyone got to calm down. It's not that bad. Robinson will be fine. Spurs and Thunder both have their weaknesses. Definitely. You know what? That's a great point too, Michael Dennis. They injured too. De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper. It was them two. Those two I know for a fact are injured with the Spurs. So that's a great point, Michael Dennis. Everybody's coming in here. There's no excuse. It's the time for no excuses. Damn it. Drake B, calm down. That's funny. You got that old flea or?
I'm not as fast as you, my brother.
Nah, I don't even know how you do that. Where you go on?
I mean, I'm not gonna compile it together. I'm just gonna grab the stats and I'll give it to you. Like, I'm not gonna compile it into one graphic. I could pull up the last 45 games though. Like,
yeah, because the only one I see is SGA versus, like, I hate like all this damn smartphones and smart Google, but I type in Jalen Brunson versus SGA last 45 games and they come up with just one side. Thank you, Google. Chump juice. SGA game log. Brunson versus SGA last 5 games. They only got one side. He scored what? 30.
Ibrahim.
Brunson scored 30, 22, 27, 16, and 32 his last 5 games against OKC. We win those games?
Against who?
When y'all talking last 45 games, are we talking also when Brunson was, with the Dallas Mavericks? Was SGA with OKC at that time? No, right?
Yeah. Maybe he meant maybe in last 45 playoff games.
Playoff games. Oh,
okay. I mean, I saw that, but we saw that stat. Damn, I gotta look at it again. They showed it. That's when they remember we saw what's the guy, Nick Wright.
No, real quick, because I want to tell Mo, they're not talking about 45 games against each other. They've never even.
All right, that's why I threw me. Yeah. So they worded it wrong. That's what I was thinking.
They just talking about 45 games. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is right. I know we've seen this before, and that's when I shut down somebody at work because I'm like, yo, you got SGA ahead of Brunson. I know Nick Wright had this last 41 games whole season. The numbers are similar, around 30 a game.
Well, that's the points per game. Right,
yeah, almost identical.
Yeah,
it's really no difference, to be honest. It's really no difference.
SJ shoots a shorter percentage, 3-point wise. He edges him out field goal percentage wise. Turnovers per game important. Both of them at 2.6, 2.7. Assists per game. Brunson got a little more, around the same minutes per game. And if I play this clip, you hear how shocked Nick Wright sounds.
This is the last 3 postseasons. Everyone's thinking like, Thunder will have the odds with SGA. He's going to be a 2-time MVP.
Wow, this is a great graphic.
This is our back.
His numbers are better.
We keep on having these amazing Brunson graphics. He's unbelievable.
Josh, this is an awesome graphic. The same games within a 1/10 of a point, a 1/10 of an assist, a 1/10 of a turnover.
Crushed it.
And they're all in favor of Brunson except the field goal percentage.
Yeah, I mean,
bonus take.
That's stunning.
Good too. This is the last 3 postseasons.
It's I'm sorry, just to cut you off. It's beautiful how Nick Wright reacted, right? Because that's how these guys don't watch, right? The Knicks, and it's just so easy and so lazy to do Knicks content on these platforms, right? So his reaction was beautiful because it was like when you think of SGA. The last name you would think would be comparable with numbers, right? In the playoffs, of course, SGA MVP, right? Champion. So you're expecting maybe an Ant-Man or a Joker or, one of them Giannis or remember, he had to look like, oh my God. That's what made that beautiful. And this is what Brunson has been. And people have been ignoring it for 3 seasons. What he did 2 seasons ago with Randall, OG, Mitch, everybody was hurt when it was Hartenstein, DiVincenzo, Deuce, Josh Hart, right? You tell me who that bench was. And we were in a game 7 in the second round in that season, going into the playoffs, averaging 28, in the playoffs, averaging 35. He never looked more unstoppable. So from that year up until now, he's been a 1A, right? So it's just amazing how so many people just haven't been watching the Knicks. They just go to the stats, they just go to the highlights, and they just go to, they didn't win since 73, and the last time they did this and did that. But when now you have to watch, and now you see those stats, rightfully look, you see those stats, you know what you got to say? Let me watch them a little bit. Let me watch Brunson now. And now your mind has to change. So I'm sorry if I cut you up. It was just great to see the reaction from Nick Wright because that was organic. Because none of them was expecting that right there. So big shout out to whoever was behind the scenes to get that information and put it up there like that.
I mean, please. They do it again enough? I gotta ask you again.
Yeah, that's about the 3rd time you asked me today. You're not gonna get me tonight. You see it is Friday. I'm calm, cool, collected, welcoming.
No, but it started. I mean, I could see how it was perceived as hyperbole initially because it was one playoffs and he hurt his finger and it was a lot. But it was like, yo, damn, I just didn't expect him to be that good. And then once people started comparing him to, what's the Trae Young comparison? I'm like, why? Because he's little. It's not even a comparison. And I love that me and you share the same thing with Trae Young. He's overrated. I don't know what y'all talking about. And once you compare him to Brunson, even you don't put him in my man's class. What you doing?
Yeah, I'll criticize Brunson all day because that's my guy and I want us to win. But by no means is he in no cut. Trae Young, get out of it. Not even close. Sorry.
He ain't
not
doing
even
that.
Close.
He ain't never do that.
Close. Not even close. I don't want to hear it. I don't even.
I know how to start the softball, boy. You can't do Jordan numbers. You gotta do Mamba numbers. And he's like, "Oh, okay, I see. I see," said the blind man.
I see, said the blind man. You know, I get hypnotized when I see Bean. That's all. Well, nah, man. Those numbers are comparable to a guy that's led his team to a championship, to a guy that's an back-to-back MVP, right? They're not even comparable to the same, right? So if we're looking at him, you got to look at him and say he could go toe-to-toe with the best. Literally, he could go toe-to-toe with the best. And, you know, we got to roll him. That's our guy. That's our guy. We've been here 82 games this year. We know what's up. That's why we grab our shovels and dig deep into this thing, because we know the ins and outs of the New York Knicks. These guys go and grab stats and 5-game stretches and, oh, they on national TV, then I'm going to watch them tonight. Nah, we here every single night, understanding what we watch and understanding the maturation of Brunson. And so, you know, I'm just ready for him to do it. Shut me up, shut the world up, and get the Knickerbockers a championship, because that's what I really want.
And Jam, I got a question for you, Flea. Do we have the personnel to play split action? He asked before, and he's making sure he wants that answer.
Dog, I saw him ask before too, and we didn't get a chance to answer this question. My perspective, I think you got to have elite shooting or guys that can that like make shots at an elite level. So when you run in that split action, you're able to either get that roll and get to the rim or get that open three, which usually Clay or Steph gets that wide open three when they run that split action with the Golden State Warriors. But for me, we got guys that are shooting at a high clip right now. Mikal Bridges is shooting the leather off the basketball right now. Landry Shamet, shooting that thing. OG Anunoby, shooting that thing, right? So for us to go to that and act like, you know, we have elite level shooters, I'm gonna always say we have shot makers over shooting, right? I still think we need to add some more shooting. But I don't think it hurts, because now it puts the defense in, it confuses them. Guys have been making shots, so you got to be honest with Landry. You got to be honest with Mikal Bridges. You can't leave them open. This ain't Mikal Bridges to end the season. This Mikal Bridges has, you gonna leave him open, he gonna knock down shots. Somebody else I left out, Jordan Clarkson, right? All guys that are capable of knocking shots down in that split action offense. So if we can't, if we're not hitting shots, it's a tough offense to run. But I love the fact that we still got divers too. Guys that Deuce, sorry. Yeah. I'll walk it back. Yeah, we can run it. We got guys that's gonna knock it down. We can run it.
How do you normally run it with Draymond involved? Like for me, when I'm like seeing the play, you know, I try to watch the thing on YouTube, but it's like high post primarily, or is it just in a specific spot of the court?
It's off the elbow, probably off the mid break where you say Mikal Bridges can't hit threes from. But in that area,
so elbow extended.
In that area right there, because usually they try to run it right there to try to get. Usually it's run for an open three, because usually you'll get an open three because you don't want the dive to the rim. You don't want to give up an easy 2 points. So now it usually gets the defense to converge on that one roller. But now you wide open, and Clay would just catch it and just be ready to rock and roll. So I'm remembering now that, you know, we really got guys that have been hitting shots, so we could run that and confuse defenses.
The only thing to me with that is who's going to pass the ball. I think Cat is the one that could primarily get the ball in that action. And if how many times is he in the 3-point line running plays like that? I've seen him do that a couple of times, especially from the left-hand side of the court. I've seen him do several times with it. It wasn't even leading to 3-point shots. It was a dump off, pocket passes to somebody diving to the basket. So I would love to just confuse the hell out of. So San Antonio's easier to confuse. They're overzealous. OKC is a little more disciplined. So, but either way, why the hell not? All ball. Go ahead, Fleet.
Real quick before OG go, you see the guy who orchestrated that defense in San Antonio got a head coaching job, Sean Sweeney.
Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
I was gonna go there in a second because Will the Champ says first double crown champs. How much value will we add to the cup? Oh, how much will the NBA Finals championship add to a NBA Cup championship?
Because my question is, has anybody that ever won the cup made the finals?
No.
Are we going to be the first team that won a cup to make the finals?
Yeah, Bucks and the Lakers, they didn't make it. Hell no.
They didn't make it. Okay.
Nah. What do you think, old boy? Will the Knicks? The Knicks. Remember, we didn't put the banner up. We didn't respect it, and they laughed at us after the thumb by Josh. You think the NBA Finals could add more credence to the NBA Cup?
Yeah. Yes. Because now it puts away that false narrative, that false story that Becky Hammond tried to put out on Brunson, right? If you win the cup, it's bad luck and all that nonsense. So, yes, I don't understand when it comes to the Knicks why they shouldn't celebrate being successful. It's something that was put in place and they won. Now, of course, in the moment, you don't put that up because that's not a legit banner. But now if you win a title, it throws away just a flat out lie. That's bad luck. No. But what made that cup so important is we played the Spurs. So if the Spurs is in the championship with us, that's something that you can go back and watch, right? Film, study, homework. So to me, that's what makes it that much important. But at the end of the day, that split action that Flea was talking about, the way we're shooting the ball right now, hell yeah, we can run that. Right now, we're playing at an all-time high, right? From shooting, from attacking, defensively. So I think right now, sky's the limit for this basketball team. Barring the injuries, as long as guys stay healthy, I think right now they are locked in. So, now it's all the preparation, all the practicing, all the mental, all the everything leads up to this one moment. Now you just go out there and get the job done. So, yeah, Fabian, I think it does make the cup mean something. Like I said, it'll definitely make it mean even more if it's Spurs Knicks in the finals, because it was Spurs Knicks in the NBA Cup finals, and it was a hell of a game.
And I like that you said that, because Wemby, what we love about him is that he's competitive, and the Spurs were competitive to go to the NBA Cup, and for him to be a part of that whole movement too. The draft lottery now being, I don't even understand what the hell changes they made, but it sounds like you can't just tank anymore. So now we're gonna have even more competition from all angles. So the fact that the NBA wants to gear towards, hey, enough is enough. Enough of the stealing from us. You guys are gonna have to play basketball at some point. The fact that the Spurs already is supposed to be the potential future face of the NBA, if not internationally, he might be that in Wemby, being that competitive in the NBA Cup, maybe make the NBA Finals with a Knicks team that, to your point, old boy and Flea, the Bucks and the Lakers were not that serious the last 2 years about trying to win a damn championship. The Knicks, it looked like they were during the NBA Cup. Now that we made the finals, it's easier. Sam I Am, what up, man? He says, what up, though? Thank you for your 1999. He says, what up, though? I tore my patella tendon last week trying to play basketball. Damn, old man. Yo, I don't have the balls to do that, Sam I Am. But I'm back to say Brunson is a 1A. Got to be his best version in the finals. Do you think the Knicks bench can play well on the road? I mean, first of all, like you said, Flea, get well soon.
Right. Sam I Am, good to see you too. Yeah, I was wondering, Sam, like, where my guy Sam I Am at? So yeah, good to see you, and good to see you're doing okay. Yeah.
Definitely, man. He said Brunson's a 1A. He got to be his best version in the finals. Agree with that. And do we think the Knicks bench can play well on the road? Do you think, old ball?
Yeah. I do. I mean, they haven't shown us otherwise lately. So why would they wait to get in the finals to stink it up? Right? We went from the bench giving us 15, 20 a night to now 30 plus a night. So yeah, Sam, I do think on the road the bench can play well. I think these guys understand the moment. You know, you have guys like Mitch, Deuce, like these guys want to get paid. So they're gonna want to play well. So they have a reason to play well, but also it's the NBA finals. So to answer your question, yes, I do think we can definitely play well on the road in the finals. Yeah. Yes, I do.
What you thinking, Flea?
That's probably something I was concerned about, but I was just having a conversation with one of my guys, and I was saying the only little difference with us going into this series is that we're starting on the road, right? Every series we started, we had home court advantage. So with this series, though, game 1 and game 2 are going to be on the road, and so that's important for us to steal game 1, game 2, right? Maybe preferably both. Go get 2, right? That would be great, but preferably game 1. So, you know, my concern, and I love the question, Sam, thanks. Like, my concern is definitely, you know, how we going to react with just starting a series on the road. It's the first time in this playoffs. You know, are we going to be ready to rock and roll? And the bench is the biggest component in that, right? The bench, guys usually struggle on the road with your bench, right? They usually flourish at the crib, but we're starting this series on the road. I really have no problems with trusting our first 5, right? I got no problems trusting our entire team. I just know that this is going to be a different challenge for us starting this series on the road. You know, how do we respond?
I was going to say that as well about the starting 5. I have no issues with them. Mikal Bridges has been to a finals already. OG Anunoby, even though he didn't play in the NBA finals with Toronto, he was on the bench. He was sidelined with a surgery. But, you know, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Brunson, for them to have repeated this from college, like, I think that means something. And, you know, that's a big crowd. I remember Bill Simmons was talking about Jalen Williams. What school did Jalen Williams go to? Not Seattle, the one that got hurt of Flea.
Wait, the one who?
The one that got hurt with OKC. He's not going to play game 7.
Didn't he go to like San Diego State, or didn't he go to
I know it wasn't a big school because Bill Simmons was making a big.
Where did my man go?
He made a big deal about him not going to a big school, not dealing with that crowd. And I thought about Paul Pierce when he went to Kansas to visit. He was like, "Yo, this crowd."
Oh yeah, he went to Santa Clara. There we go.
Santa Clara. So he was saying how, like, just think about Paul Pierce when he went to visit Kansas. He was like, "Yo, the stadium was empty and all the seats were empty," but he's like, "Yo, I can't wait to play in a stadium like this." And it's like, oh yeah, Brunson, Bridges, and Josh Hart got to play like that back to back. You know, Josh only played in one of them. That I think that prepares you, and at least you could try to do, you know, some muscle memory with your body. I'm not worried about the starting 5, but the bench, it got to be a concern. Got to be a concern. Everybody can say whatever they want. This stage, the lights are not going to get any brighter than this. We expect to break records, TV records, all kind of stuff. Everybody's going to be talking about the Knicks. They're going to be away for those first 2 games. When they come back game 3, I think they're going to be shocked with the amount of press and people in the street stopping them in New York. We do that enough already on a day-to-day. But this is going to be casual people just with Knicks jerseys on. Let's see if the bench is ready for that. I do have a question with that, Sam. I'm not sure. They ain't playing no big level. They ain't play at the biggest level. But the starters, even Carl Anthony Towns at Kentucky, that's a big school. It's a big time school. So I do have concerns, man. I really do, Sam. I am. Speaking of Sam, I am and his fandom. We know where his fandom lies, and some rivals out here. Pull the right clip up. His guys and Pistons, allegedly, the Pistons, according to NBA trade rumors, literally, look, that's their Twitter name. The Pistons are nearing a contract extension with star center Jalen Duren on a 5-year, $180 million contract. Detroit was working on this all regular season and are expected to get this done in the coming days. So that's 5 years, 180. And we talked about him and Asor Thompson, how much money they should be getting after that playoff performance, all ball. Before we get to the star, if you were a Pistons fan, if we can play La La Land for a second, would you be excited to say 180? Oh, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 30 something.
Yeah, I mean that's a little over 35 a year. It just goes to show you how much his stocks have dropped, in those playoffs. Because a guy like that, you would think would get the Supermax, right? The way, the season he had, all-star, and just how dominant the Pistons were, right? You would expect him to get close to 50 a year, right? So I think if I'm the Pistons, I'm ecstatic for him to agree to that contract right there. Like, seriously, that's solid for him because he's young and he has so much time to just get better, but he is a good player and they need his defense. He's young. So that's a good contract. Like my brother Flea always says, that's the market now. So when you hear about the Supermax, when you hear about what Brunson is going to be up for, right? When you see what SGA got, just imagine what they're going to have to give Cade, right? So to get a guy like Duren to agree to that, a little over 35 a year, if I'm Detroit, I'm ecstatic because that leaves room for those guys to get other pieces. It doesn't leave you strapped for money, right? So I think, if I'm Duren, though, am I happy? That's the question. If I'm Duren, am I happy that Detroit is trying to get me to sign his contract? Do I think I'm worth more? That's the problem when you come up short in the playoffs. And a lot of these young dudes that are good, they are now understanding regular season matters. But what everybody looks at is the playoffs. If Duren would have had a great playoff series,
no question, would have got paid.
Exactly, Flea. Exactly. So from a Pistons standpoint, you would love for Duren to take this contract. But for Duren, how does he feel? Right? Exactly. Does he feel he's a 50 million? Flea, I want to hear what you got to say. Yeah, let me shut my mouth. I want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, no, I'm listening to you but at the end of the day, too, though, like, fourth year, I'm 22 years old. By the time this contract is up, I'll be 27. I'll be up for another deal. So I don't know if
no, stay there. No, stay there. But because you're up here, they scared, but we not. We
right.
Tell her how it is. Did he get exposed in the playoffs to where?
Oh, for sure. Because now if he's smart, and I don't know how business savvy he is, but we've been watching the game for a while. If he's smart, he knows that deal is movable now. Now, if you do stink it up again in the playoffs, or if you do not continue to your game to grow and mature, if you do become unplayable, like you say sometimes, OG, if you do become that, now that's a deal where it's like, okay, we could package him up and move him for something that we feel like is better, right? So that deal doesn't say Detroit is marrying him. That move says to me,
yep.
I gave you a key to the crib. You could come around a little bit. You could be around. You got a key to the crib.
You got a key though. You got a key to the crib.
You got the key to the crib, but you don't have the alarm system. So stuff might go off if you walk in. You don't got full access yet. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a corner in the room. You don't got a drawer yet. It's still, I don't know. So I think that's where he's at right now. He got some paper, but
hold on,
they didn't say we want you to be a Piston for life.
Flea, do you think that's a fair contract for Duren? Do you think he deserves less or he deserves more? Or do you think that's a good
Feel you,
contract?
Mo. Call before you come. Word. Amen? That's what he got. Do I think that's a fair contract, OG? Yeah. He took a leap, right? He went from 11 points to about 19 points a game, close to 20. He was 20 and 10 a night. They were a 62 win. It was 60 plus win team. He was a huge part of that, right? Top 5 defense in the league, right? Top 3 defense in the league, right? Or the number 1. Who was number 1? Them with OKC. 1, 2, or 3, right? So I think it's very fair, but there's cause to pause. There's a little trepidation. Like,
Fabian, let me say this before you go. My opinion, they're doing him a favor. He got exposed. 2 game 7s, right? Orlando series, they could have potentially lost in 5 games, right? Then you get to the second round, you you get your you-know-what kicked, right? And he had a terrible playoffs in both series. My opinion, they did him a favor, Fabian.
They did themselves a favor.
That too.
I think that it's the opposite of the Brunson effect. When you hear he sacrificed $100 million, the way we put it with Jalen Durant, he lost $100 million. LB Sowavi saying he was due $280 million, but it's saying he's only getting $180. I'll be surprised if you sign that. Also, we don't know if there's player options and team options, so he can, he should be motivated to get better. Like, that was embarrassing. At the end of the day, he's one of the guys. I know you were stressing Asur Thompson, but to me, it was like Asur Thompson was not expected to score. That guy was expected to score 20 points a game, like Flea said. Where did that go? I seen him put the ball on the floor. You got scared? Lights too bright? What happened, Jalen? Like, that's major. On the brightest stage, Flea kept stressing, who's going to be a second option? You forced Tobias Harris to be a second option. The old man who's never been known to be an option. He's been known to fumble that thing. So it's more than fair for them if you a Pistons guy. Are you crazy? Imagine if that was us. Like, he wants what? Man, he say, nah, I'm at him. I want my 280. Like, nah, dog. You're not getting that. So,
nah, dog.
The Pistons, again, they changed a lot of their management. They're not playing around. Not playing around over there. So I would think primarily because they got that superstar out there. You mentioned the 2 game 7s, old boy. Has a lot been made about Mr. Cade's Cunningham's game 7 collapse against the Cavs? Pick a side.
I don't need a narrative. I don't need a narrative. Game 7, season on the line. He was the worst version of himself.
He was. I don't need a narrative. You were dick riding quiet because he got second place votes for a fucking bum ass MVP.
Wow.
Cade got literally first place votes.
Again, that's irrelevant.
No, stop talking. No, stop talking. Because you said he had to chase narrative. He doesn't have to chase narrative. This nigga had beat every single narrative in the book.
And if James Harden did that shit, you wouldn't care. If James Harden did that shit, you would not care.
In the book.
If James Harden did that shit, you would not give a fuck.
Second round.
Didn't care.
Great.
James Harden did that shit. You don't care. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck. He goes out and plays at an MVP level. Actually, is the MVP. You don't give a fuck because of the playoffs. You don't give a fuck because of the playoffs. True or false?
Wait, what are you talking about?
If James Harden goes and has this MVP season in the regular season, amazing. Goes to the playoffs, plays like shit. You're gonna be on his fucking back.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
What's the difference?
He didn't play like shit. That's what you're getting
confused
about.
Horrendous.
My nigga, he played 13 other games. He played 13 other games.
And James Harden played how many fucking other games?
He has more turnovers in half of his games.
In those 2018 finals, in that 2018 playoffs, in that 2018 playoffs, James Harden was dog shit.
Fucking remember. Now you don't remember. We're talking right now.
Now you don't remember.
We're talking about right now.
No,
stick to the point. Stick to the point.
No,
stick to the point.
James Harden, you would say
stick to the
point. Dog shit. Even though he's an MVP in the regular season. What do you mean when? Every time we talk about James Harden. Every time. Every time we talk about him
right now. Has he not been turning over the ball?
This year, I feel sick. That's irrelevant to the conversation.
We are talking about Kane. So we're talking about when Kane versus Scotty.
James Harden.
I remember them days, boy. Yo,
I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen, but I'm frozen. Those young men need to calm down. You don't talk over each other. Relax. That's not how you act when you have a microphone and camera. How dare I? I kind of understand what they were saying.
My type of room.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
my type of room.
What I said.
No, I love that they're that young. I don't see
my type of room. I'm sorry, my type of room.
But that's how. But it's not good to talk over each other because I could barely hear you.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the passion. Those are young guys, man. I like that they, like remember we thought that was gone. So when we see young guys arguing like that, it's like, yo, that's how we want the players to play too. You think they should be like us? How are we the more passionate than them?
Right.
And Jalen Duren, that's when you brought up James Harden. James Harden has never really shown that, let alone anything else. But I'll leave it to you, AllBall. That comparison, and it has enough been made about Cade Cunningham's Game 7 collapse versus the rest of his playoff run. Has enough been made about it.
So I love what the young man, pause, top of the screen, was attempting to say, right? It's obvious, young man, on the bottom of the screen, he's probably a Cade Cunningham guy, right? And no one is talking about how bad Cade Cunningham played Game 7. And if that was anyone else, if that was a Jalen Brunson, imagine Brunson in the conference finals, Flea, Game 7 at home against Cleveland, and he puts up a stinker like that. Just imagine what would be said about Jalen Brunson, Flea. You get what I'm saying? So, for me, where's the smoke for Cade Cunningham? We talk about Duren. We talk about Assault Thompson and the money these guys deserve or don't deserve. Cade Cunningham deserve the Supermax with that performance? Now, of course, we know he's going to get it, right? We know he's on the verge of being a great player. That's not the discussion. But if we're talking about his performance in Game 7, those two had way more energy than him in Game 7, right? So I love the passion and I love that type of basketball talk because it's not done enough, right? And we can relate because we're like that, right? When you get excited and right, but I'm gonna be honest. If it was James Harden, I get what he's saying. No matter what people say, you could be an MVP of the season. If you don't like a player, you're never going to give him props. Everybody likes Cade, but he had an MVP season. The word was you got to go through the East. You got to go through Detroit, the big bad wolf. Knicks ain't going to beat Detroit. That's who you got to go through to get to the finals. That man could have lost in 5 games against Orlando. He didn't. Came back 3-1. Phenomenal. 50-point game. All that. Cleveland series. Game 7. You was horrific. Where's the criticism? Because we know if that would have been James Harden, that would have been anybody else. Boy, we'd have had the excuses and everything loading up. God forbid we were in a Game 7 against Cleveland at home and Jalen Brunson did what Cade Cunningham did. We would have had to go in hiding. You know how disrespected Jalen Brunson would have been? So I get what the young man is saying. Where's that smoke? Have the same smoke for everybody. Yes, Cade is young. He's going to have an opportunity to be great, right? He has many years left in the league. But we can't ignore how bad he was in that Game 7, especially at home. That wasn't on the road. That was at home, right? So, Detroit, they have a lot of discussions that need to be made, right? Duren, Thompson, paying them. Now, Flea, last point. Is Cade Cunningham willing to take a pay cut like Brunson to fill out this roster to win? Or is he going to do the total opposite? Be selfish, take the Supermax, and stay in the abyss for the rest of his duration with Detroit and maybe be a first, second round team? That's the conversation Detroit and the Pistons fans need to think about and have with Cade Cunningham. Because Flea always said it. Y'all need help over there, especially on the offensive end. So do you strap yourself and pay Cade the super max, or does he take a pay cut? All those guys take a slight pay cut just to fill out that roster to hopefully be where our Knicks is at right now. Huh, Flash? You want to be like me, Flash? You can't get it. You ain't got it.
You said a lot just now, so I want to respond to or at least try to touch everything that you spoke about. So first, while it's fresh, you said about Cade taking a pay cut and all of that. I think that could possibly be a thought, right? He already signed an extension, but I think that could be a thought going forward. But for me, I think they draft well. That's number one.
Hold on, stay there. Stay there. I apologize. He signed the extension. Should he have taken a pay cut with the extension, knowing that offensively they may be strapped and they need help? And maybe some of this is his fault?
I mean, you got to kind of see what you got, in my opinion. I think they draft well is what I was getting at. So going out and trying to find other guys to sign, that'd be cool. Like for me, I think now is the time that you need to go out and think about going and finding a second scorer. Y'all know who I always talk about, the Devin Bookers and just another scorer to put next to Cade. But I don't think, like, I saw y'all say that a couple of days ago. Brunson took a pay cut, and Ant-Man didn't take a pay cut. Like Brunson ain't from the trenches like Ant-Man. Ant-Man is the last of the trench babies, man. He's a trench baby from Atlanta, Georgia, from the gut. He gonna take the money. Brunson, you forget Rick Brunson is an NBA player. Brunson ain't grow up hard. He ain't strapped for cash. So taking that pay cut and how they look at money is vastly different, in my opinion. Both of them came up very different. They saw different things. So going and cashing out and going and getting paper, I ain't got no mama. My grandmother died, all that. Yeah, I gotta go take my money. But Brunson, a guy that grew up, his daddy at the time, I just looked at it the other day, made his earnings was like $5 million over his career. So however you want to look at that, at the end of the day, his son grew up well. He grew up well because his dad was a professional athlete. So if I'm just talking about Ant-Man, other guys, we can have that discussion. But those two guys, we comparing them, I don't think the mindset is very different. He and Ant-Man ain't thinking about giving Minnesota no pay cut. I mean, no discount, especially a team that is right. It's especially a team that is known to be cheap. Yeah, Alex Rodriguez and them guys is in there now, but the big reason why KG got out of there is because them guys don't want to pay nobody. Them guys, that guy before that was cheap. But in terms of Cade and the criticism that he's been devoid of for that game 7, the only thing that I look at is, like you said, he carried them. OG, Assault Thompson, like you said, is bad offensively. Let's just be honest. He's not good.
You agree with me? I mean, this is.
Yeah, I don't think we ever disagree.
This is monumental.
Yeah, I don't think we ever disagreed with that.
Hey, Fabian, first he put Brunson in the same
footwork
sentence as Michael Jordan. Now he's agreeing with me with Assault Thompson.
Both cases were voluntary.
Yeah, nobody forced him. Nobody put. No. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, Fabian, you asked something before the start of the live. How I'm doing? I'm doing wonderful today.
You good now? You good now?
What a Friday! Thank God it's Friday.
I love my brothers, man. Nah, man, he deserves criticism for sure. But when you bring up that, like those gentlemen too, they was going crazy, right? The guys that we're mentioning, the Brunsons, I keep saying Booker, the Brunsons, the Donovan Mitchells, the James Harden, like the young man said, all of those guys have earned the right to get criticized on a game 7 level when they know that we're relying on you. I don't know if Cade's earned that right to say, game 7, we expecting you to be and the guy to take us home. He has been great. Y'all know I'm very high on him for sure. But the names that we naming, these guys have had multiple opportunities and have made names for themselves. I think Cade is still going like this. And While he could fly under the radar and walk out the gym like Isaiah Thomas. I mean, remember he walked out on Chicago and ducked them and all that. Like when he could walk under the radar like that, he could do that because he hasn't. This is his first big playoff run. We smoked them last year. They won 14 games the year before. He couldn't stay healthy, right? He's on the ascension now. Stink it up next year, right? Not be able to carry that, not be able to do it again. 60 wins is a lot, but not to be able to get your team back in the 1, 2, 3 spot. That's what the expectation should be for Detroit. Maybe not number one. Number one is hard, but be at 1, 2, or 3 though. Be there. Let's see if you could do that, right? So for me, I don't know if I'm gonna criticize him too much for that Game 7. He carried that team the entire season, the entire playoffs. Playoffs came. His guys around him was dirt. They wasn't great. Tobias Harris, he did absolutely the most that he could do. I wish we would have saw them. Oh, I wish we would have saw them.
Well, I don't know if Kate is a trench baby like Ant-Man, but that conversation was primarily about his name is Cat, man. His name is Cat. And it was easy to say that at the All-Star game where these games don't really matter. And you had a chance to keep him, but you didn't sign him. You didn't sign for less. Brunson signed for less. He was able to get Karl Anthony Towns because of that. To AllBall's point and his question about should Cade Cunningham sign for less? And he's in position to do so, and it would be a sacrifice. Can't say he didn't earn a Supermax. That kid certainly earned a Supermax. These playoffs are how much blame we're going to put on him when this guy scored half his teammate, his star teammate, scored half of the points he normally scores in the playoff in the regular season. From the regular season. Cade Cunningham was putting up monster numbers. You're talking about Jordan numbers. He was killing. And a lot of his flaws, finishing at the basket, turning the ball over. That's what you do. The defenses will, do that some more, bro. Go to the basket. Let me see what kind of highlights you got. Dribble the ball some more. Let me see what kind of highlights you got. Playoff defense does that to him, especially when you got nobody opening the floor for you and your star teammate ain't scoring. They came back down 3-1 against the Orlando Magic. And I don't remember ever feeling like the way I felt watching Cade, watching Harden in the playoffs. I never felt that way. Maybe that run in OKC when he had them other two dogs with him. But I don't remember him being this ever. This guy was hitting clutch shots. He couldn't have. You talk about his shooting percentage from 3 was better in the playoffs than in the regular season. James Harden gets worse in the playoffs compared to the regular season. It's a terrible comparison. He shouldn't get the smoke James Harden get ever.
But just, I would love for you to respond to this. I don't think he was comparing the games of James Harden and Cade Cunningham. I think what he was trying to say is if James Harden had done this MVP season, right? And no matter how well you played, you get to a Game 7 and you put up a stinker like that, we're pretty sure the disrespect for James Harden would have been insane.
What's Harden's rep in Game 6 and Game 7?
What is his rep? I agree. Right. I agree. But we can't ignore, and I always say this, certain things you can't ignore. We can't ignore, no matter how great Cade played. Game 7, the stage was set for you to do something very special, and you came up short. This game was at home. You came up short. You played terribly, and I'm just saying he has to get some type of blame and criticism for that.
He will, but the reason why it's minimalized is because look at the build-up to that Game 7. Number 1 seed, they were the 8 seed last year. No, 7 seed, because we played them. Because they were 6 seed, third last year?
I think. Yeah, because we was the 3rd seed, back-to-back season, 3rd seed, yes.
Top draft pick. He edged out Ivy, obviously, as being the number 1 option. You know, he was bred to be a homegrown number 1 option, face of the franchise. James Harden left the 2 other MVP teammates in OKC to be the star. So that's, you put the cape on. You said, oh no, I could do this. I got this. And when you started to do that, we started watching a guy who they kept trying to promote to us as the face of the league. And it was like, that ain't basketball. You relying on something that's not even a basketball move. Two of them things, the travel move, and then you flailing and flopping. All that's not going to work in the regular season when it matters most. So when you get tested in the postseason, you put to the light real quick. That ain't gold. that's that traga. That's what that is. And it's a little different with Cade. Cade proved himself. So that build up to Harden was always you sure you that dude? He was always in question because you left them dudes and you wanted to be that guy. Another guy who we say we just automatically because he's 6'6", 6'7". Oh yeah, he's that dude. Or just automatically we say that because he's 6'6", 6'7". And then we've seen time and time again till now all them turnovers. Cade turned the ball over for sure. He for sure did, but we know we can point to and say, yo, man, where's Schroeder? Where's Malik Beasley? Where's the guys that he had last year to get him off the ball a little bit? He didn't have that this season. There's reasons to this that I think, just watching basketball, like, forget about having too much pressure on you. It's like you don't have anyone to alleviate the pressure. James Harden had some guys like that he left in OKC. He's over here in Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell and still chose to get on the ball. The hell are you doing, bro? You ain't known for this, and then you still trying to be hard-headed? Nah, dog. Stop. So that's why I think it's completely unfair. Oh, bro, you the one that said you the man. And you the one that keeps failing. Not us. We just watching the game. Cade Cunningham can choose to say, I'm going to sacrifice $50 million, $100 million like Brunson, and everyone's going to consider it a sacrifice. James Harden taking less money is not a sacrifice. And that is what you're supposed to be doing when you are not the number one guy. Cade Cunningham has earned every bit of respect and credential that he's gotten so far over the last season, in my opinion.
I don't think so, but that'll be a conversation for another time. Like my brother Flea says, do it again. Do it again. Brunson did it 4 times. Cade came up short twice. So I'm not saying Cade isn't on the verge of being a great player, right? But this is the same. Remember, I held my reservations for SGA and for Ant-Man. I did the same thing, fellas, and I don't mind being wrong, right? Did the same thing with Wemby. Now he's in the conference finals, game 7, right? Ant-Man, back-to-back conference finals, SGA, champion, MVP. I'm just saying, what has Cade Cunningham done to where he deserves all this respect? Yeah, he had a solid playoff run. He came up short in the game 7. It's that's what I'm looking at, and that's what the young man is saying, that if this was James Harden, this would be magnified. I'm saying with Cade Cunningham, it's not talking about enough how bad he was in game 7 with all the praise he was getting up until that point. He had an opportunity to do something special, and he came up super short. So I'm holding my reservations to put him up there. Yes, he had an MVP season. But once again, you came up short while that little guy in New York is representing in the NBA Finals, a guy that everybody said Cade Cunningham was way better than. I'm just saying I'm reserving to be on that Cade Cunningham bandwagon. Is he a good player? Yes. But is he great? Not yet. He hasn't done it enough. My brother says it all the time, and now I get it. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Cade hasn't done it yet. Now, went to the first round and then now second round. So now, once again, got to give Fleece props. Steps. Brunson made those steps. First round. Semi-conference finals. Conference finals. Now he's in the finals. So, Fabian, yes, let's see now, next season, this season coming up, let's see if Cade can stay in that 2-3 seed, right? And see where you get your players at. But right now, I don't think he's getting enough criticism. I think everybody has already forgotten how bad he's played in that game 7. And I'm not going to forget.
Sam I Am says he came off a collapsed lung and took that roster to 7 games. I can't roast him for that.
I'm not roasting him. I'm just saying.
But you're asking for him to be roasted. And I don't understand that.
No, I'm asking him to be roasted. I'm asking him to be criticized fairly. If that was anyone else, if Brunson lost a game 7 at home, that would be plastered.
But Brunson has, but I think you're missing that some of these guys have built reputations and have built certain expectations. You're saying the expectations are there simply because he's the best player on the team. I'm saying that moments matter, time matters. Harden gets killed because there's countless times in a game 6 or game 7 he has not shown up. So if he didn't show up again, yeah, we're gonna kill him. Brunson has shown up. He's a clutch player of the year. So in a game 7, there's an expectation of, yo, we know that we can rely on this dude. There's no scouting report on whether we can rely. We just know that he's dragged us through the playoffs and he came up short in game 7. Does he deserve some criticism? Yeah, but to the point of where they need to be killing him and he ain't.
No. But see, people are misconstruing what I say, and they do that a lot. I'm not saying he needs to get killed. I'm saying he's not getting criticism.
It's us.
No. I'm saying ever since they lost, it just poof, gone. There's no talk about Cade Cunningham. And I'm saying if that was anyone else, especially a Jalen Brunson, if we won a 60-win season, if you heard everybody talk about how petrified they were of the Detroit Pistons, if you heard them say, yo, the East go through us, all this cockiness, and you play that bad in a game 7 at home, I'm saying he's not getting criticized enough. I'm not saying he needs to get killed, but for us to just forget about that is wrong. It's wrong. That needs to be questioned. It needs to be talked about a little more. That's all I'm saying. We don't hear nothing about Detroit anymore. Why is that?
But are you comparing us just beating the Cavaliers and Harden getting that criticism now or back 10 years ago, 8 years ago? Because that's why I'm getting lost at, because that's the only way you can. That's what you can compare Cade Cunningham to. You can't compare Cade now to Harden now. Harden's resume is insanely bad in the playoffs.
Right. I'm not. I'm saying comparing that when we like someone, it hits different, right? Nobody likes James Harden. So in his MVP season, you play terrible like this, it's going to get magnified tremendously. And we're going to talk about it forever like we do now. When we talk about James Harden, like Flea said, how bad does he play in game 6s and 7s, right? I'm saying Cade Cunningham had a moment, game 7 at home. We had an opportunity to get to the conference finals. He dropped the ball tremendously. It's not like he had a good game and went out on his shield. He was terrible. I'm saying, why isn't he criticized more for that? You don't have to kill him, but he needs to get criticized. It shouldn't be forgotten about. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you're going to remember it if it becomes a trend next year. That's how I think. If it happens again, it's going to be brought up. But that hasn't been the trend with him. The trend, like right now, we just said Jalen Duren taking $180, taking $100 million less. Nobody, including Detroit fans, don't have a problem with this right now. Nobody. Everybody would have an issue with Cade Cunningham getting less bread. I think everybody would be like, not an issue, but they would be like, that was noble of you. Thank you.
If you want to win, I'm not saying take $100 million pay cut. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying people have to repeat or do what Brunson did. No, I'm just saying, bruh, you have to admit you're not good enough to do it on your own. It didn't work out that way. Y'all need help offensively. Are you willing to sacrifice a little bit so y'all can make a move to get some offense? That's all I'm saying. If you're going to take all the money, then you got to take all the blame if y'all can't make a move to get help offensively. That's all I'm saying. And what he did in game 7, he needs to get criticized a little bit. Once that happened, that was it. No, it's not fair. It's not fair because if that's any other player, they get criticized. They get talked about at least for a month. We still talk about James Harden, how bad he is, Flea, in the playoffs for years, right? I'm not saying Cade Cunningham has to be compared to that, but for him to have that bad game 7 and then it just goes away and we don't talk about that at all when they've been the big bad wolf all season. We had Detroit in the chat trolling. And you drop the ball like that? No, Flea. No, you know me. I ain't lying with y'all to get away with that. No, he deserves some type of criticism.
I agree. When you put it like that, I was about to go somewhere else, but you put it like that. I was going to ask you, do you remember Mike's numbers when he got swept against Boston in his first playoff series?
You know I don't remember. That's your job. I don't remember all that, man. Listen,
he scored 63.
My mind is
that series. Do you?
Hey,
Game
Fabian,
3.
My mind, I'm difficult to go remember what happened 3 hours ago. That's what Flea is here for. Remind us.
He averaged 35-40.
No, I didn't say average. I was saying the game
swept.
3.
I get what you said.
Game 3 when they got swept. Do you remember his numbers? The elimination game.
He went to OT. And when he took him to OT, that was like I couldn't imagine being alive then, like being a Jordan. People just telling you that you can't win with this guy. That's crazy. That's crazy. He scored 63, took him to OT with a bunch of. You talk about what could you do against that Celtics team?
The elimination game, Mike was 8 for 18. Wasn't very good.
Yeah.
He was one shot of 500, 50%.
I'm bringing that up, right? Because I'm wondering what the conversation was right after that. Obviously, I'm young. I'm probably not even born yet, but y'all are younger. I wonder what the conversation was around Mike after losing to Boston that year. Like what the conversation was. Obviously, we see what happened after, but
a bunch of guys like AllBall talking about you can't win with this. You sure was the pressure on Michael Jordan? Because remember we called Magic tragic and nah.
The talks was in my hood. You remember you couldn't wait for Mike to do something like that. Told you, yeah, he ain't right. That was the conversation, right? Because Mike was so good that you couldn't wait for that moment. Because that's what sports is. We wait. Right, what they do with Brunson, it's been happening forever. You wait for that moment to say, I told you. Yeah. Right? So that's what sports is. I don't understand why people ignore that, right? But we all wait to be right. The difference with us up here, Knicks, we have AllBall TV. We don't mind being wrong and we don't mind laughing at us. Right. But we all wait to do that, Fabian.
Flea, I said, there's a bunch of dudes like AllBall. He goes, no. And then proceeded to say, it's exactly like a bunch of dudes like, AllBall.
Right. Yeah. So that back then, it definitely was that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's never gonna change. I love him.
Well, the champ, thank you for your $2, homies. They hate Jalen Brunson because experts ignored him. You think that's a part of that, Flea?
The experts ignored him. What are you talking about? Second round draft pick. Not thinking that he's, the little engine that could. Like, I guess so. But at the end of the day, what your eyes telling you?
No, but like for someone like you, that can't be right. Is that you know what? Maybe for someone like you that does feel like do it again and do it in the finals. He is up against history
on this level. But don't ever get it messed up. I've never come up here and say he's a bad basketball player. Come up here. I think he's phenomenal.
Not bad, but does the fact that, let's say Becky Hammond, yourself, it's not that you ignored him because you watch college basketball, you seen him score, see him just play at Villanova, but it seems like sometimes some people like are still in denial for whatever reason, and is a part of that people still holding on to even him at the beginning being ignored.
They don't want to be wrong, Fabian. Listen, people don't want to be wrong. I don't mind being wrong. Nobody really wants to come out and say, yo, man, I was wrong. I didn't watch the young man in Villanova. I didn't watch him in Dallas. I remember this, the media, they are taught to just watch certain plays and certain teams, right? You're not going to watch what's going on in Memphis, right? If Ja Morant isn't good. You're not going to watch Jalen Brunson if he's playing alongside Luka. Right? You're not going to watch him in Villanova because he probably wasn't a high recruit in right? You're not going to watch him. So, of course, so now 4-5 years later, who wants to say I was wrong? Let's be honest, right? These guys are getting paid millions of dollars to critique the game. How can any of them say, hey, I didn't watch him. I was dead wrong. They can't say it. So to me, that's my opinion. And I can be totally wrong, and I'm fine with that. But that's my opinion when it comes to this. Think about this. The Dallas Mavericks wasn't watching him. He played for him.
You talk about ignore.
Exactly.
Also, I just thought of this while you were talking. I get why people didn't like Iverson. We loved AI, but I understand why people scared of the street looking dude. There was a build up to him, like we can't let him be the face of the league, right? And then it became undeniable. But there was still a hatred towards him. James Harden, I didn't like him as a player. He was very polarizing. LeBron is polarizing. I get why people hate them. Like they are polarizing guys. Jalen Brunson is kind of the opposite of all of them. He's not that flashy. There's a little bit of the roommates part. We know he got some of that in him. As much as he try to, oh shucks, he tried, but we see right through that BS. But I still don't understand standing that firm on a guy who's just like, he seems like a really nice guy. Even Tim Legler came out and said, yo, I was dead wrong. That's crazy. Barkley coming out like, this might be the greatest free agent signing ever. Like, can we say that now? Maybe. I mean, I obviously Shaq to the Lakers, and is that now? I don't even feel like asking Fleet that. He'd be like, can we win first? That's gonna be Fleet's answer before I answer that question. Shaq won 3 rings with the Lakers. Shut up, Fabian. I know what you're gonna say, Fleet. House Flan, thank you for your $2. Look how we talked about Randall after Atlanta series. That's crazy because I hated Randall and I kind of gave him a pass. I still was like, he's trash, but I knew we were missing Mitch. You know what I'm saying? AllBall always hated him, so I'm not gonna even ask him.
Yeah.
What'd you say about Randall back?
Don't ever get that misconstrued. Yeah.
What'd you say about Randall, Flea?
I didn't have bad things to say about Randall at all. That was the way this thing started. That was the resurgence of the Knicks back to relevance, something to root for. So, nah, I ain't had nothing bad to say about Randall. I was grateful for the time Randall was here. Was it time to move on? Yeah, sure. But that was the first time seeing him in the playoffs as a father. Yes, that was good.
That's crazy.
That was good. That was good.
That's crazy. Sam I Am says the Pistons will check the draft first. We might find something. Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what my point was. It's like
they draft
the pay cuts, the guys taking short money, like they've drafted well. Like I think you continue to draft well and develop guys, and JB coaches ass off. They be fine.
They don't have enough to run it back. Beef stew, the greatest defense, and no.
Yeah, but can he even play? And then on top of that, you ain't playing. Imagine Mitchell Robinson starting to fight.
They should be looking to move.
Bro, imagine him Mitchell Robinson starting to fight with Mike Brown on the sideline.
Hold up. No, I'm not letting y'all get away with this. I know we got to go in a bit. The Detroit chat was in here heavy, talking about beef stew. You two agreed with him. Yeah.
No, Flea did not agree with him. I agree with I was saying.
All right. He's one of the best rim protectors in the NBA.
Yeah.
Now it's pack him up, right? When I said all along,
you were mighty when he had 8 blocks. You were mighty quiet. Now you want to celebrate. Mighty quiet. The church mouse.
Regardless of the fact, right?
Never was a church mouse about beef stew.
Whether he's the best rim protector in the league, back-to-back seasons, you couldn't rely on him into the playoffs. He can go.
Right.
He can go.
Right.
He could go.
I'm just saying it's very loud when I'm wrong. It's very quiet when I'm right. That's all I'm saying.
That's how it works. You know that's how it works.
I don't know. It's still quiet now, and you ain't right. So we talking about, boy.
Yo, Ray. Yeah, that boy Ray, man.
Flea just sent me some. There are some before we go. There are some changes. I'll run through that real quick. The Cleveland Cavaliers hired.
Real quick.
Damn, where I got this at? That's when Cleveland Cavaliers hired Mike Gansey Cleveland Cavaliers general manager Mike Gansey has agreed to become president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. So the Cavaliers GM went to run the Philadelphia 76ers after Daryl Morey.
It's a good move.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, he's replacing Daryl Morey, but what you call it is still the GM, I believe. Isn't Elton Brand still the GM?
I don't know. You gotta look that up.
Is Elton Brand still with 76ers? According to Google, he serves as general manager for the franchise. So
that's what I thought.
So this will be the third.
He'll be working for him unless he comes in there and fires Elton.
Right. So that's
see that happening.
Me too.
I thought only the Knicks did that. Where you have the same general manager with three different presidents, and we used to do that. We used to do stuff like that.
Steve Mills, this one,
Scott Perry.
I mean, this move right here, I like it though for Philly. Cleveland right now, we can say what we want. Yeah, we swept them, but they made it to the conference finals. They beat the juggernaut Detroit Pistons, right? They made the move and got James Harden, and it was successful because Donovan Mitchell got out of the second round and got to the conference finals, right? So, I mean, picking up Dennis Schroeder, they made little moves under his watch. Defensive player of the year, Mobley. So I think this move right here, this is where you're going to see Embiid is out of there. I like this from Philly.
Myth, you could be. That's the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from, but
yeah.
Okay.
Clearly I was wrong about that. Yeah, clearly I was wrong about the Randall for Cat trades, but I didn't like Randall. Just giving him props when he was playing.
He's a limited player. Like, we call it what we want. Like, we put him in a position to be a 1A, and we realize that he's not that. With all this 1A conversation, we realize that he's not that, and so he gets knocked down for posing as a 1A when he's really not that. Like, if Randall would just be who he is, and he was judged as who he is as a player, I think the criticism would get off of him. But everybody keeps propping him up like he's this 1A guy that could lead you or could be a Robin to a bet. Nah, he's a piece to a team that could be good. I don't see what's wrong with that.
He wasn't even really a 1A. We were forced to put him at 1A. Even now, he don't even get paid like a 1A now.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. He used to get killed when he was doing the best that he could with limited ability.
Also, the Orlando Magic are finalizing the hire of San Antonio Spurs associate coach Sean Sweeney as the franchise's new head coach. Sources tell ESPN, according to Shams. Aren't you the source, Shams? Why did Shams do this? Sweeney broke into the NBA coaching in 2011 and now lands the Magic head job as a top rising candidate. Oh, hold on. Before we move on, there's a connection with that, with the Magic and a big time star out there. The Magic feel like a dark horse suitor for Giannis if the Bucks ultimately deal a franchise star this summer. If Orlando submits an offer that includes one of Paolo Banchero or Franz Wagner, which is not out of the question, I think Milwaukee would be enticed. And the Magic also have their senior advisor, John Hammond, was the general manager of the Bucks when the team drafted Giannis in 2013. Jeff Weltman, Orlando's president of basketball operations, previously worked in Milwaukee as an assistant GM. Hammond and Weltman both have familiarity with Bucks GM John Horst. So, Mona Shelbourne, reported it first. And also there's a tidbit on how Giannis loves that guy, Sweeney. So there's a lot pointing to the Magic getting Giannis, another Knicks potential rival in the coming years. If they go get Giannis, fellas, have some quick words for that.
It depends on what they have to give up. Giannis is very injury prone. And if they give up a lot for Giannis, what would be the difference with Giannis in Orlando with that roster comparable to the roster he has now with Milwaukee? So it depends on what they have to give up. But just real brief, I like that coaching move. One thing we can say about the Spurs and that coaching staff under Pop, a lot of those guys that coach are successful, right? So, I think it could have been a lot of other guys I wouldn't have mind getting that job, but I think that's a good hiring if it happens.
Please, we be seeing that guy.
Pop makes good coaches. Pop helps breed and develop great coaches.
One thing I've always said.
How do bad coaches develop great coaches? How does that work?
I never said he was a bad coach. I said he was overrated when it comes to being the greatest coach of all time. I've always said that. Don't try to change my words.
Let me quote you right. I'm sorry.
I've always said what he does as far as getting players and developing. I said he's one of the greats at that. I've always said that. I'm just saying, for me, discussion for another time. You're correct.
Sir. Yes, sir. I like the coaching move. I like the way some of these teams are being a little more unorthodox and going with some younger guys and giving a new crop of coaches, a new crop of ideas, a new crop of minds. They see the game a little different. I like it. I hate this carousel of names. We just keep recycling names. I was tired of hearing Mike D'Antoni's name for years. I was so happy when we stopped recycling him and thinking he was going to be the savior for whoever, right? So I like the fact that these young guys is getting an opportunity. They're laying their hat on, they're building their reputation off of defense. See, that's the other thing. You got to be able to put together a defensive scheme before a lot of these teams even start looking your way. Yeah, the offensive minds are dope, but a lot of these defensive-minded coaches, young coaches, are getting opportunities. I like it.
I feel exactly how AllBall feels. I'll double down on that. I don't know if I'm Sean Sweeney. If I like anything Milwaukee in Orlando, the hell have you done the last couple of years? Surround that guy with anything. You gonna bring Milwaukee South? That's what you bringing over here, and you want to coach that? So what Jamal Mosey had to go through these guys? I don't know what's going on in that locker room. Bane and these dudes coming in there just causing what they call a mutiny. They gonna flip out on you too, Sean. General manager and president of basketball operations of Bummage from Milwaukee.
Real quick, remember what Miles Turner said about Giannis as far as leadership, right? Nobody really discussed that? Like
Bobby Portis says,
yeah, and there's a couple people that said that. Like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Cats came out and said he just flat out lying.
Right, but whether he's lying or not, we don't know who's telling the truth, right? But what was the purpose of Miles Turner saying that? So I'm just saying, even if he's lying, if you're the Orlando Magic organization and coach, that is something to look at as well.
They traded Drew Holiday, and they hired Doc Rivers. That's who's in charge of the Orlando Magic right now.
And Giannis has something to do with that, right?
Right, so meaning also, even if Giannis wanted that, nobody was up there telling him that's a bad idea. We don't want to trade you Holiday. We don't want to hire Doc Rivers. Sean Sweeney, good luck to you. Actually, no good luck to you. Get the hell out of there. I hope you fail miserably.
No, but hold on. I preference on it depends on what they have to give up, because let's be for real. If Orlando was looking to sell tickets, right, Giannis is the guy. If you could do a straight up trade and you're able to keep Franz and everybody else, then okay, it's a discussion. To me, it's what you have to give up. If you have to give up the house, then I'm not doing that move. But if you can do just a straight up trade, I think it's something to think about, because no matter how we feel about Giannis, he's going to fill out them seats and they're going to be sold out every night. So I think from a business standpoint, you have to look at it. But if it's you have to give up Picaro, Franz, and maybe Black, like if you have to give up the house, then no, I'm not doing that, because like you said, Fabian, it's going to be Milwaukee South. No, I'm not signing up for that if I'm Sweeney.
Milwaukee South is crazy. Fellas, get a little overtime. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere else. Tomorrow, Game 7. What?
I'm excited.
We'll do a preview tomorrow, because everybody needs their rest. Get this thing going, baby Bubba. Are you kidding me? Game 7, another Game 7 these playoffs. Wembayama against SGA. Who's the real MVP? You already know who y'all MVP is. Game, come on now.
Fellas, it's history for all three teams. If Wemby wins tomorrow, listen, third season, one of the young guys to get to a finals. OKC, they have an opportunity to win back-to-back, which hasn't been done in a long time. And if the Knicks win, Brunson just kills that narrative of a little guard and New York back in the limelight. either way, the NBA is in great hands, y'all, with these 3 teams that's left.
Yep, I agree.
Yes, y'all. You could have been anywhere else. Totally appreciate it. Hold on, I didn't even check the cash app, please. Nothing. ABTV3 is the cash app in case you watch this on the replay, baby bubble. AllBall TV 3_. You kidding me? Like, share, comment, subscribe, become a member, do your thing. Tomorrow, Game 7, we will hate watch. Can't wait to see.
Bro.
You see Flea's hat? You see it.
I'm just waiting. We just patiently waiting, getting rest, back rubs and massages. Man, feet up, comfortable, eating fruits, breaking pinkies.
Feet up on the couch, wifey in the kitchen cooking them spam sandwiches. We just chilling, man. Just wait.
Breaking pinkies is wild. Yo, get us out of here, baby.
Yes, get us out of here, man.
I heard you say breaking pinkies, and I just thought about there was a segment with Shannon Sharp and Joe Johnson. They were asking about certain women.
Take us home, bro. Take us home, bro.
Okay, but anywhere else tomorrow. What is it? 8:30 again? Damn late games, man. Can you stop?
I mean, at least it's a Saturday night, going into Sunday, so that ain't too bad. But tomorrow we definitely
they've been extra freaky lately, man.
Yeah. Tomorrow, y'all look out. Game watch, hate watch tomorrow night, Game 7. But we'll definitely do a little preview, probably sometime in the afternoon to discuss. Yeah, get us out of here, man. Hey, Myth, we'll do the predictions tomorrow before the game.
Yeah.
Tiger Girl, how you know what I'm talking about, though? Have a good night, folks. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.